if you've been wanting to try out generative AI, but have been holding off or have been holding off using it in any significant way because of environmental concerns, because of copyright training data concerns, because of the whole big corporate ownership of AI issues, we have a couple of big announcements that came out today that might alleviate some of your problems with AI. And another one that came out a few weeks ago that's also pretty significant and can make a big difference to somebody who wants to use AI, but in an ethical way. All right, so let's get started with it. Before I do, my name is Maria Korolov. I'm a technology journalist. I write about how companies use artificial intelligence, what works, what doesn't work, what they plan to do next. And I care about this because, well, it's my job. And this is what I talk to people about all day, every day. But also because as a technology journalist, my job is right there in the crosshairs. So I want to know what's going to happen to my career and what's going to happen to the creative professions in general. And if you care about that kind of stuff, maybe you might want to join me on this, let me say, journey. I was going to say nightmare, but like journey. All right. Okay, so let's get into the AI news of the day. The first one is about open source AI. Now, you're going to say, well, open source AI is bad. It's either much, much worse than ChatGPTs and the Claudes and the Geminis, the big frontier models, or it's from China and it's heavily censored and who knows what's going on in those AIs. Yeah, free and open source, but they come with all these strings attached because it's China and you don't want to use those, even though they're really good, like DeepSeek, right? Or Quen or Kimi. So there's a third one today. So this is Mistral 3. That's Mistral.ai. They just announced their new model, and Mistral 3 is good. It is up there with ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. Its own, so Ella Marina ranks it just a couple of points behind the models that we would normally use. Now, all three of those companies have like super high end, super expensive thinking models. So Mistral 3 isn't up there with those, but a normal person wouldn't be using those models anyway. If you're using the regular ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, Mistral AI is really, really good. It's up there. It's up there with the Chinese big models. It's up there with the big American models. And it's open source. Now, it's real open source, not the weird Facebook license that the weird Meta license that Meta has for its Llama model. So with Llama, it's kind of open source. You can use it for free unless you're a big company, and then you can't without Meta's permission. It's kind of weird license. It's debatable whether it's like even open source adjacent. But Mistral AI is Apache 2 licensed, and the Apache 2.0 license is one of the best licenses out there. It means you can download Mistral, you can change Mistral, you can create your own versions of Mistral, and you can use Mistral in commercial products in case you're the kind of person who does that kind of thing. So Mistral is great, and it comes in different sizes. So not only do you have the big frontier model, but you also have smaller versions that can run on smaller computers or even phones. So lots of options. The company cares about the environment. They care about privacy. They're building their own data centers. They're in France, so all the European laws apply. They seem like a really good bet if you want an open source model. The only downside to Mistral in terms of ethics is that they do not disclose their training data. So Mistral is a for-profit company. It's not a nonprofit. So they do want to make some money out of their model somehow. And one of the things that they're keeping back is where they got the training data for the model. So we don't know how clean that is. So that's the downside of Mistral, and I'll have a different alternative for you in this video. All right, next. Mistral has a ChatGPT style chatbot. It's called LeChat, and it has a free plan. And I'm going to link to the blog announcement, the company website, and the LeChat down below. And they have coding models, and they have an AI studio. They have all the stuff that companies need. But also, it sounds like something that individual users can try if they want an open source model that is good and that's not Chinese. So, great deal. Keep an eye on Mistral. Next, speaking of environmental issues, we have a company that's all in on the environment that now has an AI. Kind of. This is why there's an ish in the thumbnail, because everything is like has an asterisk after it. So Ecosia.org is an organization that has a search engine and a browser, and all the money that they make goes towards environmental causes. So they have donated over 100 million euros to climate action so far. They've planted 250 million trees. Their data centers are all run on renewables. And when they do use something that takes additional power, they compensate for it with environmental clean energy offset thingies, right? So they now have a free AI chat, and it's called ecosia.org/chat. So it uses OpenAI in the back end. That's the ChatGPT company. But your chats are not used to train OpenAI. And like I said, they offset everything environmentally. All the money goes to climate action. They also have search engine, and the search engine does have AI overviews, but for that they use a different AI company, a European one that does zero ad profiling. And as I mentioned, all profits go to climate causes. So you can have your ChatGPT, you can have your browser, your search engines, everything, and be helping the environment while you do it. So if that is your top priority, go to ecosia.org. No, I'm not sponsored by Mistral or Ecosia or anybody. I mean, look, this channel is tiny. All right, now let's get to the last one. Now, Ecosia and Mistral made their announcements today. This last announcement was from 5 weeks ago, but I haven't covered it here on this channel because I just started posting. So if you only get your AI news from me, then this will be new to you. But also, I have to say about this. So I care about copyright issues and training data because AIs are being trained on my stuff, and there's nothing I can do about it. So it's a concern, and I sympathize with artists and musicians and other creatives whose products are also being used in training data without their permission or consent. So, creepy. But there is an AI that is trained only on licensed data, and this is the good part, they pay artists for their training data. And if you don't know who they are, the answer will surprise you because it's Adobe. Like, I don't think of Adobe as being a particularly wonderful company, but hey, they did it. So they have a Firefly model. You get to it at firefly.adobe.com. I'll post all the links down below. And their model is actually trained on licensed images, and it's good. So their latest model was released 5 weeks ago, like I said, at the end of October, and it is not quite as good as, say, Nano Banana or as Midjourney or some of these like high-end image models, but it's It is pretty darn good. They've improved a lot. The latest version is usable, and they have like the editing tools built in. So if you don't like a piece of the image, you can brush over it and prompt for a correction. They have different aspect ratios. You can expand it. There's stuff you can do with it. The basic plan is free, and you get a bunch of generations every month. And if you need more, the starting commercial plan is $10 a month, which is not bad for AI, especially one that's commercially safe because it has no copyright issues. That's pretty good. Adobe also indemnifies its business customers. So if you're working for corporate clients, or you yourself care about being sued because your images are based on copyrighted images, Adobe stands behind it. They will cover the legal costs. They're putting their money where their mouth is, which means that even if they make mistakes with their training data, they're highly motivated to fix them, which is a great thing because companies are highly motivated by money, and the money is working in our favor here. All right, and like I said, they pay artists. They've been paying artists for a couple of years now, and their model is actually improving. So you can use it for internal personal use. Like for example, if you're writing a novel, you can generate pictures of your main characters, so you can like see what they look like, or pictures of your setting, get it out of your head onto the screen, so you can put yourself like in the right frame of mind when you're writing. Um, if you don't mind using AI for outward facing purposes, you can use it to help with background images for promotional content, for blog posts, um, for stuff where you don't want to be infringing on copyright. You want something that looks clean, but you really don't need like a unique hand-drawn piece of art, like in this particular case. And you wouldn't have been hiring an artist anyway. You might have been doing something like, say, from Pixabay, which does not pay artists. So if that's your alternative, if your choice is to use old pre-AI pictures from Pixabay or new pictures from Firefly artists get paid. So maybe that might affect your decision about what kind of images to use for your illustrations, for your blog posts or social media posts. So yeah, it's a great thing to keep an eye out for. If you want to know more about fairly trained models, there's a site called fairlytrained.org, and they have a list of certified AI models that are trained only on licensed data. So bookmark that page, keep coming back to it, keep adding more AIs to it. And they have not just uh, image, but also audio and music AIs as well. So if that's something that you care about, definitely keep an eye out on what's going on there. I would really, they're all also like text AIs that are fairly trained, but they're not really usable yet. So I would very much like to see a text AI that is fairly trained. There's no reason not to have one. There is so much public domain text data out there right now, and there's really no reason for an AI company not to create an AI based on that. And I'm also disappointed that we haven't seen any big ones yet. Um, I mean, we have it for images. Why can't we have it for text? Right? That's all I'm asking. This is how court cases have been going in the AI company's favor recently. Like Anthropic lost that huge multi-billion-dollar case, but they lost it because they were downloading books illegally. So they were fined for the piracy, not for the data. The training part was okay if as long as they acquired the books legally. So when they bought a bunch of used books, ripped them apart, scanned them in, and used them for training data, or when they scoured the internet and used that for training data, that was okay. But when they downloaded a library of pirated books, that was the bad stuff that they were doing, which and everything else was okay. So as long as you get the content legally, you can use it for training according to recent court decisions. So maybe that's why we haven't seen a lot of text-based, fairly trained AIs yet, because the courts have been ruling in favor of the AI companies, so they're not really motivated to do it. Maybe we'll get some other rulings or maybe some regulation um, in this area. So we'll have to wait and see. So check out Mistral, check out Ecosia, check out Adobe's Firefly, check out familytrain.org if these are things that you care about. And subscribe if you want to know more. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. I answer all of them. And if you disagree with stuff that I say, please comment and I will fight you. And yeah, I swear, I'll go in the comments and I'll argue back and forth with you because no, why not? All right, it's engagement. It'll create traffic to the channel and boost the YouTube algorithm and all the other stuff. So do me a favor by calling me names and saying how much of an idiot I am and that I'm part of the AI cult. So, all right, see you guys later. Love you guys. Bye bye.